So remember, what are some of the big issues that will be on agenda for India and USA, but especially for India in terms of how this visit will benefit us? Remember that strong bilateral trade will be the big focus. United States of America, you should know, is India's largest trading partner, and therefore trade remains our top priority. This is where the whole tariff issue comes in. $118 billion bilateral trade was done in 2023-24. This is why, when the tariff issue will come in, the disputes of Trump against India's tariff rate. He's called India as one of the biggest abusers when it comes to the trade industries. In fact, in specific words, Trump labeled India, and I quote it here, tariff king, and therefore he has said we would impose a similar tariff if India does not take a step back. Now, the trade deficit that we are talking about, Trump wants to focus on reducing deficit. That, of course, will benefit American domestic interests. India-US trade balance likely to be scrutinized so that India does not have higher tariffs when it comes to import duties. And this is when, remember, India-US expected to explore more phasing out of import duties. And if you listen to the budget carefully, there were some sectors in which the import duties were reduced by a considerable margin. And many believe, experts have said, that it was a hint and a suggestion to America that India also is taking steps where it is necessary, especially in sectors where possibly American companies can benefit. But then comes in the defense aspect. These days, remember, defense is the biggest issue between any nation, and the collaborations India has been indulging in. $1.9 billion integrated air defense weapon system, military hardware, services worth $90 million. 24 multi-role helicopters for the Navy are in the pipeline, and these are some of the deals that will be discussed. There are 6 attack helicopters for the Army, 72,000 assault rifles. India has been a big importer when it comes to American arms and ammunition, but this will all have to be, of course, put in consideration. Let's go across then on the ground. Washington, D.C., Rohit Sharma joins me. Rohit, you've been tracking all the latest on that. Tell me, what are we expecting specifically? What does the itinerary look for Prime Minister Modi in 2 days?
Prime Minister Modi landed around 6 p.m. here in Washington, D.C. It's almost close to 10 p.m. right now. We were told that he had some meetings planned, and then we saw him meeting with the newly sworn-in DNI director. That's Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard. So she was sworn in at the Oval Office, and she went across the street to meet the Prime Minister. Tomorrow morning, his meeting starts at around 10 a.m. local time. And those meetings, those bilateral engagements will go up until the afternoon, around at 1:30 p.m. And then he will move to the White House around 3:34 p.m. And that's when we'll see him meeting with President Donald Trump. We'll see them in bilateral engagements. He's going to have a dinner, an early dinner before his departure from Washington, D.C. So his day is pretty jam-packed between those, they haven't really decided or announced, I should say. They have not announced, who he's meeting. But we know that there are names such as Elon Musk is somebody he could be meeting tomorrow. There's talk about Secretary Rubio meeting up with Prime Minister Modi. So we could see a lot of, leaders from both business and political spectrum and that people who've recently started working in Trump administration meeting with the Prime Minister leading up to his meeting with President Donald Trump tomorrow. He's going to be in meetings all day. There will be time. We've been told that there could be some questions or there will be a press briefing where journalists will be allowed to ask a few questions. So all that has been planned for Prime Minister Modi. And as we've said, this is a new era. This is Trump 2.0. This is more like, getting to, again, build that rapport that already exists. So it's going to be those meetings, and then the announcements will follow. We know for a fact that there could be announcements on gas, oil, buying some defense equipment, talking about immigration. So those topics will be discussed. And after those meetings, the Prime Minister will have an early dinner and then depart from Washington, D.C. back to India.